Good evening and welcome to the Jay Duke Show on Horse Network. Tonight's a very special show. Again, every week we have amazing guests, and this is a great father-daughter duo, Mario and Lucy Deslauriers, coming on the show, both international team riders for Canada and the United States. Really excited for this program. Mario, former teammate of mine, really wonderful guy, and his amazing daughter Lucy's joining us. I want to thank Horse Network for the opportunity to do this show. I want to thank Carly Sparks. She's the producer behind the scenes tonight, making this all happen. Got Lucy in a park. Her car broke down, so she's broadcasting from a park tonight. We've got Mario in the Hamptons, and I'm in Calgary, Alberta, so we're all over the place and keeping Carly busy. Thanks so much for joining us, and I want to thank our sponsors tonight. We have Stable Secretary is joining us, and they've been so supportive over the past month. You know, there's so much management that goes on with these horses and the stables that we have. Having the technology now to help keep track of everything. Stable Secretary has been a wonderful, wonderful company for that. And check them out at stablesecretary.com. You'll be really, really impressed with their technology, with their site, with their customer service. I highly recommend them. I also want to say we're supported by Parkmore Horse Supplements, proudly manufactured in Kentucky, designed to repair horses from the inside out, reducing health issues and monthly feed bills. Thank you to Fleur Bryan for joining us tonight on this special edition with Mario and Lucy. So I'm going to bring the two of them on. And like I said, we've got Lucy in a park. She's in somewhere in Pennsylvania. And then we've got Mario in the Hamptons. And so Lucy is a very accomplished equestrian at a very young age. She's just 21 years old. She's represented Team USA in Senior Nations Cup competitions already. She's had a top 10 individual finish at the Pan American Games. She's been to the North American Young Rider Championship individual gold medal and silver medalist and team silver. And probably my very favorite, she's been pony finals champion. Anyone that's won pony finals is a hero for me. I love that. And so thank you, Lucy, for joining us. And then we have Mario Deslauriers here, and he rides horses too. He's done a couple things as well. So thanks. No, Mario, 1984 World Cup Finals champion at 19 years old, youngest guy to ever do that. No one's even come close. And in today's world, with the riders are getting younger and younger, I mean, maybe someday that'll happen. But in 1984, for a 19-year-old to do that, that was unbelievable. And that record still stands today, and it may stand for another 30 years. We'll see, and I hope it does. So thank you. The two of us are joining us. Hi, Mario. How are you?
Hi, Jay.
It's great to have you. Great to have you. And great to have you, Lucy. And so Lucy, you've had a bit of an adventurous day already. So thank you for making this work. And I love technology, and hopefully everything will go smoothly for us tonight. But thanks for joining us from the park that you're in.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, sorry about the difficulties, but I'm glad we're able to work through it.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to start off, in so many times people say that family relationships with sports, is a recipe for disaster, that, you can't coach your child, or you can't take instruction from your father or your mother or that sort of thing. I disagree with that. I had great experience with my mother as my main coach, and I coach my daughter, and that mostly goes very well. You two are an amazing example of incredible success with a family relationship. Lucy, let's start with you. How has that been, working so closely with Mario in your riding career? How is that development for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, I'm so lucky to have him and my mom as well, with extensive backgrounds in show jumping. I think having them, in my corner, working day in and day out with the two of them, is just a huge advantage for me. Obviously, my dad's, career and expertise is something that I feel so fortunate to have access to, and has really definitely benefited my career in a million ways. I think especially with my partnership with Hester, he was a horse initially bought for my dad, by my dad, but for him. And I'm, lucky enough that when I was 12 or 13, I think, I needed a horse to jump the low juniors, and, we had him in the barn, and it just sort of came to be, and we, started from there and haven't stopped since. So I think, that's just one example, that, without him, that wouldn't have happened for sure. So I'm very lucky, to say the least.
Absolutely. Now, I do have a personal question on that one. Do you allow your dad to get on, Hester? Because I'm not allowed to get on my daughter's horses at all. Do you let Mario get on?
Yeah, all the time, especially, since I'm in school full time still, commuting during the school year, at least I'm mostly, I just mostly meet my horses and my family at shows. So it is specifically due to the fact that he can ride Hester and keep him in top form that I'm able to keep competing. So he definitely rides him.
That's super. So Mario, do you find as a coach, is it a challenge to be not overly critical working with Lucy, because you obviously want her to succeed so much, like as opposed to working with, say, a student outside of the family? Do you find that to be a challenge, or are you able to somehow, separate that and just teach her as a regular student?
No, I think when I help Lucy, I'm very straightforward, and I tell her how it is. I think she takes it well, and we work, at home all the time. But I have reinforcement all the time. I have, Mcclay on the side, and BZ. She's getting great help from a lot of people, and she hears it a different way from other people. But I think it all comes to the same conclusion. But her mother also can help. So we have a group of people that really have brought Lucy along, and I think she hears us all, maybe at different ways, but we all want to help, and we all want her to succeed.
Well, a common theme story that we get on almost every episode is the team environment behind the success. So whenever you see a horse and rider having top international success, there's always that team story. So it sounds like you've really created an amazing team and done that within the family as well. And obviously for Lucy, you have so many great resources right there within your own house. And that's such an advantage, but it's still a challenge to be able to balance that and to take that. Lucy, do you find do you over try sometimes, when your parents are watching a little bit, or are you able to kind of just get to that zone of competition and stay focused?
Yeah, I mean, I think having them, we're all based at the same farm. So, they're always around, always watching. So I think having them at shows isn't really that different in that aspect. I think if anything, it only strengthens our team that it's based in family and our foundation is in family. Because I know more than anything, they want me to succeed through and through. So I think it's, definitely an advantage more than any sort of detriment, if you could even say that it is that in any way. But I think some hard part be, on the days that it doesn't go the way that we want, having to come home to that and, talk about it until, at the dinner table afterwards. We're all so competitive that inevitably that's something that comes along with, training with family. But, regardless, it's a great thing that we have each other. And, when we're competing in the same classes, we have two chances. So it's a plus.
It is. And, congratulations to all of you for being so successful with that dynamic, because again, in many cases it does not work. And I think that you guys are such a great example of that and of working together and the benefits of that. We showed that picture earlier. You're even walking the course in step. That's incredible to see. And just the bond the two of you have is really, really special. So Mario, I want to talk about how you broke in the scene, because you also have that family connection with your father, Roger. And, you grew up a little bit with that environment. You've carried that over to the next generation. But in 1984, you shocked the world. Somehow this 19-year-old unknown kid from Canada on a 7-year-old horse goes, wins the World Cup. It's just, Disney couldn't write that up and sell it. I mean, there's no chance that could happen. So, talk us through that. How did that experience happen for you at such a young age?
Well, it's the Aramis story is unbelievable. We found this horse really beside Bromont, about an hour away, that was just imported from Germany, and this nice big looking 5-year-old. Actually, the Mr. Baudouin that bought the horse saw him just running around. He was looking at horses, and he was looking for a good trail horse for himself. And then he was told this horse may be a good horse.
Yeah.
So we went and looked at it, and we somehow, Mr. Baudouin found the money to buy this horse for us. And then I took it to Florida, and I rode with Michael Matz then. And the goal was always to go to the Olympics. So the first story started, Michael, I got to start jumping bigger jumps. We're ready. Michael says, you can't jump any bigger. He's only 6 or 7. we can only do, these heights right now. So we went on, and then I rode all winter, and then I started to ride with Ian. We went to Detroit, and that's when we moved the horse up and started already to do the meter 45, 50. And the story just started there. So on we went all summer. I was doing the Grand Prix, and I think I qualified for the World Cup doing only the Garden and the Royal Winter Fair, 2 World Cups. And I qualified to go. And then I'm 19 years old. We're in Gothenburg, Sweden. And first day goes, I'm in 8th place. The second day I win, and I'm leading. And so it was an amazing story, and an amazing way how the story went. And it's hard to believe that the record still holds. But to win the World Cup is hard enough. So, and I've tried several times after, and I came close one time and I messed it up. But just to have been there, and it was a very exciting moment.
Yeah, and almost, again, it is that the rookie type of thing coming in, and you're such an amazing competitor and such. Do you think you just kind of went in and you just went in a road?
Well, I think as a junior, I was always, my nerves were unbelievable, and I believed in myself so much. Like I could make any horse win. And I went there, and I had, my first time to Europe competing. I've competed around quite a bit, but at the university level but there was no nerves, no problem. I was Coach Tom and Ian there, and it just went very smoothly. The last round was a little nerve-wracking. I had 4 faults in the first round of the last day, and I needed to jump clear, but I didn't think about it twice. I just got the job done.
That's amazing. Well, I know, Lucy, you weren't around for that, but we're going to test your knowledge of it later on in the show with our show jumping trivia game. So we're going to see how much you know of Mario's accomplishments. But congratulations on that. That is just, again, it's a fairy tale story, and just, I remember it happening, and it still sends chills down my spine hearing the story. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. Lucy, you've had a lot of success as a young rider as well. Not quite what Mario's done, but you're definitely done some amazing things. The North American Young Riders Championships. You've won 3 medals there, I believe. You've won individual gold, individual silver, and team silver at a very young age as well. Talk to us about what it was like competing at Young Riders.
Yeah, I think both years I did it twice, 2015 and 16, I think, and maybe 14 and 15. But anyway, it was really a great experience. It was so much fun to go with, all my friends, and we just kind of went, and it was just going to be an exciting week for all of us. With Zone 2, I was traveling with, some of my best friends that I had been riding with for a long time, and I had this great partnership already in Hester, and, I just went and the first year, I didn't really know what it was about. And I was excited to, jog the first day like a real championship and do the speed and things that I had, seen my dad do before, but I didn't really know what it was about. And, I just went in the first day, rode my round, the same sort of thing. I didn't really, it was a young rider championship, but it was a big deal. It felt like a big deal. And I think I just used the confidence I had in my horse and our partnership to kind of, get through the week. And I think it was mainly just a fun experience. And of course, like icing on the cake for it to go that well.
Yeah, that is. It's such an intense competition, but the camaraderie at it's very international, and it is really fun to do. That's for sure. So congratulations on that. You also had a good circuit in Calgary recently, and we're going to show a video here. I'm going to pull a video up of you winning a big 5-star class in Calgary. And competing at Spruce Meadows is such an event. You walk through that clock tower, the crowd, the international ring, the whole atmosphere. It's it's almost Auckland. It's that special. So we're going to pull a video up here, and we're going to show you winning this class here in Calgary. Carly, are we set to go on that? Okay, so Lucy, if you have any comments, this is the jump off. If you have any comments on it and such while we're going, then by all means, talk us through it.
Okay. I think this was my first year competing FEI. And so I think there's some similar thread of just kind of going with the flow and really trusting my horse, turning back tight there. Sometimes I watch these jump offs and I don't know if I've gone that fast in a while, honestly. But he performed so well. He loves those fields. I just kind of let him run, and he really seems to thrive there. So he really takes a lot of care of me, and especially as I was kind of moving up and just starting to compete at that level, I really, like I said, I keep saying it, but I just totally trusted him, and that took care of a lot of it.
And what was it holding that trophy up and having Ian Allison announcing your name and such? Mario, what was that like for you watching Lucy at that moment?
I mean, that's amazing. It's 6 years ago already. I mean, it's when she goes in the ring, I'm actually more nervous. I know she's in good hands and she's riding well, and the horse is, everything is organized, but it's still nerve-wracking for both my wife and I when she goes in the ring. Much more than when I go in the ring. Once you ride and you warm up, you loosen up, and the butterflies go away a little bit, but it's always like 2 or 3 out, and we're finishing our school, and it seems like the butterflies build before she goes in. But I'm getting used to it now better, and it's great to see Lucy perform so well, and she's gonna have to I'm gonna eventually, soon enough, I'm gonna have to step down and let her take the reins of other horses, and a lot more that we have, and we're lucky to have some nice horses right now.
Yeah, well, she might just grab them from you regardless of because just a beautiful rider, and Lucy, you have such a great gallop to your ride, such a smooth flow, and and super balance, and it's really you can see the class of your ride and the education of your ride and the talent of your ride, and that's really apparent. So congratulations on that. So we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout, guys. Have a quick commercial and a word from our sponsors, and we're going to try to get a little light on Lucy in there in the park as it's getting dark where she is. We don't want any harm to come to her. And we'll be right back. We'll see you in 30 seconds. All right. Thank you so much to Sable Secretary for being with us on this special episode of the show. Mario, let's talk about your Olympic experience. We so much always talk about it's like a podium or nothing, and Conrad in '84 said, he didn't even win a silver medal because Joe won the gold and stuff. He's come fourth twice at the Olympics, once in team competition and once in individual competition with Aramis, and which is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, there's no question. Very few people in the history of show jumping have ever done that. But talk to me what it was like to have that, where you just missed that podium. Were you looking at it from like, hey, it was such a great experience and I had a wonderful week, or was it just like, oh, I was so close? What was that like?
Well, I think in LA in the individual, with Aramis, such a scopy horse, and the first round I remember like it was yesterday, have the second to last fence down and being a big fan jump. And he hit the rail behind when he was such a good jumper behind. I just thought it was like, I said, this is going to come and haunt me, when I finish my course. And then the second round, again, like a fence across the middle that also I shouldn't have had down. So when you think about, in hindsight, I should have been in the medal jump off with four faults with Conrad and Joe, but being in the medal, in the bronze medal jump off with Heidi, I mean, I knew she had a super quick horse, and it was very hard to get her, even jumping clear, because my horse was a big scopy jumper, but not very quick. So, but it was, at the end of the day, it was a great experience, and we went there really thinking of winning a medal, and we came so close. So it was just, it was a hard lesson, but a great experience, and to go back in Seoul. And again, we were fourth, I think, by team there.
Yes, fourth.
So not twice, but 3 times. But finally this year, Lucy won a championship medal in where we were at the Pan Am Games. So that was actually a great victory for her and for the family.
Yes, yeah, it was. So did you, after that happened, did you find it very like motivating as far as, okay, it just obviously was a little bit unlucky in LA, no question with that, especially having a fan down with that horse's power is just, it's the only jump that you
it was like, God, where did that come from? I mean, I mean, that was no luck at all. So
so very unlucky. Did you find it but for our viewers out there, like how did that motivate you to become, like a stronger performer and competitor, and did it motivate you to train harder? Or did you need some time to yourself, or what was the recovery like that emotionally?
I mean, I was only 19 years old, so I was still very green. I mean, I had lots of experience because I rode since a long time in the juniors and all that, but at that level, it was only my second year or so doing the team stuff. So, but we got back going. We went to some other World Cup final. We were right back in Seoul at the Olympics, and did some World Games. So in this sport, it's hard to you go up quickly, but it's very hard to stay consistent at the high level. So to stay at the high level for a long time, I think it's you have to be diligent and work hard and find the horses and find the resources to get the horses. And these days, it's gets more and more expensive all the time.
Yeah, no, that's great advice, and everyone out there needs to hear from someone like yourself how to work through that, and they've seen your successes and they've seen your downtimes, and you just keep coming back and better than ever. Then that's really inspiring for people. Lucy, you had a couple injuries a couple years ago, and people, when riding, it happens. It's a sport, and riders get hurt. how was it for you, at a young age, recovering from that? And, so many people, they'll have a bad fall or they'll have an injury and then they have confidence issues and that. How did you work through that? And how can you tell the viewers, how to help each other through difficult times like that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, confidence issues after an injury or something I think most riders deal with. I definitely felt that. It definitely took a few months to feel like I was riding back to normal. There were definitely moments when I was really second guessing myself. But at the end of the day, you have to have strong confidence and belief in your system and your program and your horses to know that you can get back to where you were before an injury. And I think that was something that really, really helped me. Obviously, I had such a reliable partner in Hester that, I knew he was there for me and, he could do it and I could do it. And, with the help of the people behind me, that it was really all in my head, and I think at the end of the day, the sport is such a mental game, and having to, hone in on the fact that I had the skills, and it was really just a matter of, believing in us as a team and our system, as I said, was really what enabled me to, bounce back, even though it was probably took a little longer than I wanted, but we did it. So yeah, it's hugely mental, I would say.
It does. It takes a lot of mental fortitude and a lot of patience and perseverance to get back there and then to come back better than before, of course. And that's key to long-term success as an athlete. Mario, you have a unique perspective on North American show jumping, having competed for the United States and having competed for Canada. Can you describe the differences in the programs at the national level with Canada and the US? Like what really stands out as striking differences between those two programs?
I mean, I think both teams are it's probably a little harder in the United States. There's so many more riders, so many more horses. In Canada, there's most of the time, if there's 8 or 9 or 10 of us that at the time have a horse to compete at the level that we need to go, either Olympic Games or Pan American Games or World Games. It's I would say that in the States they send teams through the summer to Europe a lot more than Canada, but Canada did it quite a bit in the last 10 years. It's just a different experience, different style a little bit. Maybe one's a little more organized than the other. There's little nuances, but it's a great experience to have been able to compete for United States and Canada.
Do you know all the words to the American anthem?
Most of them.
So I'm wondering, Lucy, you've competed in Canada and competed in the US, and and show jumping is such an international sport, but do you notice a difference with the competitions in Canada compared to the competitions in the US, or whether it be the riders or just the atmosphere?
I've spent a lot more time obviously competing in the US. Most of my time spent competing in Canada has been either in Calgary or in Bromont, which are both, big international events. Calgary especially is, one of the world's best, if not the best. So that has a huge, huge amount of prestige and tradition, and, getting to compete there is a huge honor. So I think that alone stands on its, that show stands on its own, really, beyond just North America. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've competed a lot more in the US, so it's hard to really compare them on a, nationwide perspective. Right. Beyond that.
You have to be careful here. Bromont's my hometown.
Yeah.
Home boy there. She has to behave when she comes there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know. So Mario, right now you're currently, ride for Canada, and Lucy for the United States. Mario, I know you're a big hockey fan. You're a big hockey player as a youngster and such. And in hockey, there's, anyone can get traded. Wayne Gretzky was traded. So I'm looking that I'd like to, as a representative from Canada for the Canadian team, I'd like to make a trade. And I want to trade Mario back to America, and I want to bring Lucy to Canada to ride for the Canadian team. And no offense to Mario, but I'm just thinking we've got a few more years there with Lucy to
That's right.
On the podium.
Okay. I don't know about that trade.
Okay, guys, we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a little show jumping trivia. I know you two are both super competitive, and we're going to see who comes out the winner in this battle. Let's play some show jumping trivia. Okay, so we're going to get our first question up on the board, and I believe we're starting with Lucy as well. Yes. Do we have those, Carly, to come up? There we go. Okay, so Lucy, who the tie for second place at the 1984 World Cup Finals? So we know who won the World Cup Finals in 1984. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Was it A, Michael Matz, B, Nelson Pessoa, C, Leslie Howard, or D, Lisa Deslauriers?
I'm gonna say B, Nelson Pessoa.
Got it. Well done.
Yeah.
Very well done. I had okay. America's on the board. Excellent. Well, okay. So let's go with Mario. We got to step it up now. Pressure's on you, Mario. What is Lucy's current on Gene's computer ranking? Is it A, 212, B, 85, C, 167, or D, not in the top 500?
I think it's C.
Oh boy, you guys are good at this. Well done. You're doing so much better than Daisy and Sam did. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to go question number 2. So we're tied after round 1. Round 2. Mario, we've got a question for you coming up. Which Canadian rider won the Mcclay Medal Finals in 2018? Was it A, Sam Walker, B, Hunter Holloway, C, Nikki Walker, or D, Celine Dion?
It's A.
A. Yes. Well done. Okay, you guys are great. Okay.
I feel like that was a gimme.
That was a gimme? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Okay, well, this one's not a gimme. Lucy, name the rider who did not medal at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Was it A, Conrad Homfeld?
That's easy.
B, Heidi Robiani, C, Ludger Beerbaum, or D, Joe Fargas?
C, Ludger.
C, Ludger. Wow, you two really know your stuff. I know about my questions. Okay, we got one last round. And everyone knows that Deslauriers are very competitive, and we can see that coming out here. Okay, so last question, guys. This one's for Lucy. Who has not won the FEI World Cup Finals 3 times? A, Steve Gerdat, B, Ian Miller, C, Meredith Michaels Beerbaum, or D, Hugo Simon?
B, Ian Miller.
B, Ian Miller. Wow. Lucy, you are fantastic. And real pursuit, I want you on my team. Okay, Mario, so to tie it up here and send you guys home in a tie and a happy family, who was...
You want him to tie with this question.
Pan Am American show jumping in 2019 in Lima, Peru. Is it A, B, Madden, B, Carl Cook, C, E, Jobs, or D, Lucy Deslauriers?
B.
That's right, B, Carl Cook. Okay.
I hope you knew the answer.
Well, in true fashion, the Deslauriers, they win all the time, and they definitely both won tonight on Show Jumping Trivia. So thank you guys so much for playing. Okay, so last thing before we wrap it up tonight. 2020 has been a challenging year as far as making plans, and Tokyo being canceled, which potentially affected both of you, and all that goes along with that. Let's start with you, Lucy. How are you looking forward to 2021? The Olympic Games are going to be going forward. You are a potential contender for that. What's your plan, and what are your goals for the next 12 months?
Yeah, I think like everyone, we're all hoping for some return to normalcy or a new normal in the next few months. I have two horses that I've gotten in the last year, pretty much. So, with all this time not competing, I'm hoping to really get to know them more as we get to show a little bit more. And then, of course, continue to develop and strengthen my partnership with Hester at a high level. So I think simultaneously, those are, two of my goals.
Mario?
Well, I think we hopefully finish the year here showing a little bit until we start the winter circuit. My horses are going very well right now. I'm lucky to have 4 or 5 that can do the Grand Prix. Amsterdam's going great. I got a new mount called Cloud 39 that was just 4th in the Gold Cup. I got an older horse called Urus, and I got Bartolina. So I'm very well equipped right now. So I hope shows keep coming, and because I'm kind of looking forward to competing and keep at it and hope for a great year next year.
Well, best of luck to both of you. And thank you so much for joining us on the Jay Duke Show on Horse Network. It's just very inspiring to see the two of you and then the success that you're having, and to see your camaraderie and your partnership and the way you work together. And best of luck in the near future, and hope to have you again very soon on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for having us.
Next week, every week we have superstars on the show, just like we did this week. Leslie Burr Howard is coming on the show, just an incredible competitor. Mario's an amazing speed rider. Maybe the only person that can ride faster than Mario is Leslie. She's so fast. So really looking forward to having her on the show. Thank you to Horse Network. Thank you to Carly Sparks for making this all happen. Appreciate you all joining us. And ride safely. And as always, respect the horse. Good night.